All right, so we're gonna first start with the hamstring self-myofascial release. We're gonna use what is called the orb ball. You can also just use a softball. The lacrosse ball is gonna be too small. What you're gonna do is you're gonna sit down on a bench, go to the end of the bench, so your feet are hanging off, and then open one side up. Then we're going to put the ball underneath the hamstring. We're gonna allow the leg to just relax into the ball, and then we're gonna take a couple inhales and exhales, okay? We should be feeling a pressure into the bottom of that hamstring with the ball right at the end, right behind the knee. In this position, we're just gonna hold and breathe as we're pressing into the bottom of that hamstring. I can move the ball a little bit higher to the mid hamstring, hold again, try to find an area of tension about a 6 to 7 on the RPE scale, or let's just say intensity scale. So imagine 10 is hurtful, 9 is going to be hurtful, 8 is getting painful, and then 7's our sweet spot. So we're looking for a 7 here. Now we can move it all the way up to the top of the hamstrings, right where the glutes meet the hamstrings and those tendons there. We're just placing that ball right on that area. You should feel that pressure in the muscle. You might even feel it tingling down the legs. Take a couple inhales and exhales here. So what we're doing is we're performing self-myofascial release for the hamstrings using the orb ball. You can also use a softball, a baseball, but it needs to be a bigger ball because your leg will just kind of melt into the ball if it's too small and you won't feel anything. All right, so you can go up and down the back of the hamstring with this ball, making sure you get both sides. So again, rolling out the hamstring, place the ball at the end of the bench, lift the leg on top of the ball, and then we're gonna hold at the end of the hamstring, at the bottom of the hamstring. Take a couple inhales and exhales here. Try to find an area of tension that is about a 7 out of a 10 intensity. Then we're gonna move the ball up to the mid hamstring. Again, 3 inhales, 3 exhales, and then continue all the way up to the top of the hamstring, okay? So you can go in 3 different areas, but you may want to focus on more or less depending on how tense your hamstrings feel. So this would be some self-myofascial release for the hamstrings. So if you're going to roll the hamstrings, you're going to perform it with one leg at a time. You're going to sit on top of the roller and then roll from the knee to the hip. Okay. Now you're not going to feel the same type of pressure as you would with the ball. So I don't really highly recommend rolling the hamstrings unless it's all you have available. In that case, you can perform the self-myofascial release, roll with both of the hamstrings at the same time, feeling a little bit of pressure in the back of the hamstrings, or you can go one at a time to add a little bit more pressure. Okay. Second option or progression is using this orb ball. You can use a softball, but it has to be a bigger, hard ball. Otherwise, it won't work. Go to the end of the bench and put the roller right in the middle or right next to the knee. Find about 3 areas of tension. You can even pull yourself into the device or hang out here and breathe. And then you can also rotate the hip as you find different areas of tension. Okay, so that's hamstrings and foam rolling. Now for hamstring stretching, a couple of my favorite stretches are just supine, standing, and half kneeling hamstring stretches. So we'll go over those now. So for the hamstrings, you can use a band for support, wrap it around the arch. Okay, if it's, you may have to just put one loop around the arch, and then you're going to try to hold on to that band, right here, and pull the elbows toward the ground. Make sure the band isn't over the toe, or you can definitely get hit in the face. If you feel like you can't get your leg straight and your leg looks like this, then you know that's something that we probably need to work on, okay? So we can hang out in this position here for about 3 inhales, 3 exhales with the band. We can also, if we don't have the band, just use our hands here. We want to make sure that the bottom toe is pointed up. We're just going to take a couple inhales and exhales here, about 3 to 5 inhales, 3 to 5 exhales. Then you can progress by bending the knee and extending the knee for 5 to 10 reps. And then you can progress further by rotating as you bend and extend. So externally rotating as I extend, rotating in as I bend. So those would be some extensions to this supine hamstring stretch. Make sure you get each side, 3 to 5 inhales, 3 to 5 exhales. Relax your head. Make sure that bottom toe is pointed up. You can use hand supported, or you can use band supported. Okay, you can also use a towel. Okay, and that would be the supine hamstring stretch. Another hamstring stretch you can perform, but is also going to target the lower back and opposite hip, is the number 4 stretch. So what we're going to do is you can start in the cross-leg position, extend one leg out, and then from here, point the toe up toward the sky. We're going to look and rotate our shoulders so that we are facing the foot. And then we can bring our hands behind us for option 1, and we can just hinge forward or just lean forward with our chest high. Option 2, we can bring our hands in front of the body. And then option 3, we can reach forward, but keep the chin up and look forward. You're gonna feel this in the lower back and a little bit of that hamstring. So this is another hamstring stretch, but it's also going to involve the lower back. This is called the number 4 stretch. Perform it for 3 to 5 inhales and 3 to 5 exhales. For the next hamstring stretch, which will also get the adductors, is the straddle stretch. Okay, the straddle stretch, you're just gonna extend the knees and make a V. Option 1, hands behind you, or you can be up against a wall, a box, or a chair to give you some support. Option 2, you can bring the hands in front of you. And then option 3, we can hinge or lean forward. Keep the chin high, just look straight ahead at the horizon. And we're gonna hold 3 to 5 inhales, 3 to 5 exhales. When we're inhaling, make sure we're inhaling through the nose softly, and then when we're exhaling out the mouth with pursed lips as long as we can. Okay, so those will be the breathing protocols during the stretching. Now, for the next hamstring stretch we're going to perform is just going to be the forward fold. This is also going to involve the spine. So this would be a lower back stretch or a spinal stretch as well. Option 1, hands behind up against the wall or box or bench. Then we're gonna, option 2, hands forward, toes up. Option 3, reach as we're looking forward. Okay, and we're gonna hold 3 to 5 inhales, 3 to 5 exhales. So getting a little bit of hamstring and a little bit of lower back there. Okay, the next hamstring stretch we're going to perform is a half kneeling hamstring stretch. So with a half kneeling stretch, I can do this supported or non-supported. I can use a bench, a dowel, or a wall, or a chair. So I'm going to get in the half kneeling position to start. Then I'm going to extend my front leg, hand at the hip. You might immediately feel a stress in the hamstring and might not need to go any further. We want to make sure that our back toe is behind our back knee. We're not rotating in or out too much. We can have a slight knee bend if we feel pain or discomfort behind the knee. We want to feel a nice stretch behind the hamstring. And then hand at the hip, we're going to hinge forward, look straight ahead. We're going to hold 3 to 5 inhales and exhales. So this is the half kneeling hamstring stretch. Start next to a bench, wall, or chair. Get in the half kneeling position. Use a pad if you need one. Extend the front leg. Make sure the back heel is in line with the back hip. Now we're going to hinge forward, and we should feel a stretch in this front hamstring. Inhale for 3, exhale for 5 to 8. And we're holding for about 3 to 5 inhales and exhales. Okay, so that would be the half kneeling hamstring stretch. Okay, next we're going to show you the standing hamstring stretch. So the standing hamstring stretch, you want to find a box or something that you can get your foot up on top of that is in line with your hip. So this is a little bit lower than my hip. I want to get a little bit higher. So some of you may have access to this at a gym. If you don't, then you might have to just kind of make your own system. But what we want is we want to get it at about hip level, maybe a little bit lower. Okay, and for beginners, you're going to have to go as low as needed. From here, I'm going to lift my leg on top of the box so I get this 90-degree angle. Step back if I need to. Maybe make it about a 100-degree angle. And then I'm going to just focus on my breathing while I'm in this position. This will be the standing hamstring stretch. I'm going to look straight ahead. I can hinge forward if I need to. I probably don't need to. All I can think about here, or what I can think about here, is tilting my hips back, which will create a nice pull on that hamstring. I don't necessarily need to reach forward. All I need to do is tilt my hips back, and I'll feel that hamstring stretch. Now, a lot of people may have a tough time with balance, so making sure that you can hold on to something or you have some type of support system. If you want to hang your foot off of the device, that's fine if it feels better. You may feel more tension with the heel on the device. So play around with how this feels for you. Make sure this back heel isn't opened up. We want to close it by pointing the toe forward. All we want to do in this position is just look straight ahead. We can hinge forward. We don't need to fold forward. We don't want to make this a lower back stretch. I'm going to keep it a hamstring stretch in this position, and all we're doing is tilting the hips back, and we should feel a nice pull in the hamstrings. Inhale for 3 to 5, exhale 5 to 10 seconds. And hold. We're going to breathe and hold for 3 to 5 inhales and exhales. All right, so that's the standing hamstring stretch. We can also make this a more dynamic stretch by putting the foot on top of the box. And if you have a more advanced client or individual who can put their hands on their hips, and then from here, or you can use the dowels, we're just gonna rotate in the direction of the top leg. So hands to the hips, rotate, and you'll feel a nice pull along the hamstring as you do that. Making sure that bottom toe is facing forward and the top toe is facing up. Okay, so this would just be a standing hamstring stretch with rotation toward the front leg. So if the right leg's in front, you're going to rotate to the right. Okay, keep the head in line with the hips, so we don't need to have our head forward the whole time. Nice straight spine, a nice extended back glute. So you can squeeze this back glute if you want to. Okay, so that would be the standing hamstring stretch with rotation. All right, I think that's it for hamstring. So that's my hamstring video. I'm not going to get into quads, but we're actually going to try to get a workout in. I will do quads next time. We will get into quads next time. Get some music on. Let's get some drink.